I was watching a very confusing video with a lady named Sophia Stewart. She's the claimed inspiration behind both Terminator and the Matrix blockbuster films. So I'm giving the viewers a fair warning here, and know when I tell you what she says lost me. Keep in mind I've given you a fair warning. Okay. Here we go. She was tossed a question that immediately triggered unexpected long-winded answers deep from within her. This question asked was about her supposed claim. The interviewer was trying to catch her off guard, suggesting to her how it seemed like she was pulling directly from the movie's script. That then prompted her to go into deep introspective, which she shares with the interviewer. Then she unleashes a range of depth behind the ideas she put toward both movie blockbuster films. Here she went into a range of statements directed at Jon Arba. Wait, I never heard nobody on any interview say where's their copyrights? Where's their trademarks? Where are their books? Where are their scripts? Cause they don't exist. Cause the moment you enter in fraud into the Library of Congress or the Copyright and Trademark Office, you're going to jail. Because all they do is give you regurgitation, just like the Matrix movie they called The Matrix was not the Matrix movie. I call it Matrix regurgitation. Resurrection resuscitation are with Tiffany, her husband, and 2 kids with John Wick, and not Neo with some naked man with the Joker suit on, but not Morpheus, not Trinity, but Tiffany, like I said, with the 2 kids and the husband, and then look, not Niobe but some old woman with dreads. That's a general. You guys got played and they got sued, and people asked for their money back because there were no logos of the characters and the graphics and the concept and the special effects that I created. The red and blue pill, I'll be back, none of that. You guys fell for John Wick, who looked nothing like Neo. I told people Superman doesn't change, Batman doesn't change, Iron Man, Spider-Man, etc. Oh yeah, they use the same actor to play John Wick, play Neo, Keanu Reeves. Changed the characters up but gave you all the actors and think they could fool you guys. Do you see what I'm talking about? Hidden in plain sight, but the real die-hard fans did not fall for that crap. They came and asked for their money back, and then Village Roadside Pictures swayed them. But Village Roadside Pictures should take them to the feds because they dipped them into believing they were going to give them the Matrix. They defrauded them out of money when they gave them garbage for their money. That is fraud, because if I don't sell you a real Louis Vuitton, I don't sell you a real Gucci or real Chanel's bag, you need to go to jail, right? So I looked at some of the court documents and there was a lot of denying from James Cameron. The Wachowski brothers, of course. Fox was denying it, of course. They're not saying that they took from my work, they were denying that they never met me. I just saw a lot of BS on what I was reading. Everyone was just there taking from my work. They adapted my work to the screen. The derivative movies belong to me. It's like I'm the mother and I had 3 babies in the hospital and you came in the hospital and you stole my babies. I came first, the babies came second, so if my book came first, that's right. Is this the truth, or you committing fraud? Because we can prosecute you under the penalty of perjury and use you as a witness against yourself. That's why the government doesn't care if you go to the DMV and get a driving license and you put in your brother's birth certificate. You get into a car wreck, they investigate the car wreck. They're going to find out, John, you never had a driving license that you put in your brother's birth certificate. They're going to get you for fraud and arrest you. They investigate and find all these charges. I saw you had, there was a RICO connected to it as well. You're trying to get everybody rounded up. Oh, I did do a RICO. Let me tell you what's going on. All they're doing is what Al Capone, John Gotti, Whitey Bulger, Bernie Madoff, all they're doing is paying to stay out of jail. All these people were racketeering for 30, 40, 50, 60 years because they're paying off politicians, they're paying off FBI directors, they're paying off people in high places, Illuminati mobsters. They're paying to stay out of jail, but it catches up with you later, like it caught up with Al Capone. Look, Capone got on the witness stand and lied his ass off. They said, hey Al, you made all this money racketeering and killing people. Blah blah blah. His little CPA certified public accountant said no, Al wasn't doing any of that, he made his money from the companies. Then the government comes back and say, well, if he made the money from taxes, he got 40 years and died of syphilis the moment he got out of prison. John Gotti, they couldn't get him for a long time because he had this Jewish lawyer Roy Cohen, and you guys read what I'm saying. And he was getting away. They set up that Cohen's attorney, he ended up going to jail. John Gotti had to get another attorney. They couldn't beat the government's lawyers. They're called JAG lawyers. They're some of the most phenomenal lawyers in the world. I learned from one of the JAG lawyers named Philip Banks. They're phenomenal. And then let's go to our Whitey Bulger. His brother was a high-ranked staff member of a prominent university. His best friend that he grew up with was a FBI director, so he was getting away with whatever. And his brother had to step down from his position as president at University of Massachusetts. That happened once it was discovered after he spoke to Whitey while he and his girlfriend was on the run. FBI agents and the LAPD caught Bulger in Santa Monica. He would then stay at numerous prison facilities and ultimately he's transported to his final destination Hazelton, where he was murdered by 2 inmates. Photius Freddie Geese and Paul DiColleggero was charged with his murder, while the 3rd inmate Sean McKinnon allegedly acted as the lookout man. Billionaires like myself was going to the FBI complaining, yet they were looking to kill that guy because his girlfriend Birdie was making so much money for somebody, some syndicate mobster, and he got 150 years and he died. There, I'm teaching you guys what's going on, cause you're saying wait a minute, why James Cameron isn't in jail? And Andy and Larry Wachowski owning their brother's distributor's business because it's their powerful corporation, so they're protected by their corporation. It's a totally different breed. When you do something under a corporation, okay, but the other ones, yes, they can go to jail soon as they stop paying whoever they're paying to stay out of jail. No, I have to apologize for Sophia's ongoing rant. That made about as much sense as Curly Howard smacking Mo upside the head with an extra stupid silly stick of nonsense. So Sophia didn't hold back, not one bit, especially after the interviewer tried to come at her from an angle to spin her claims into an excuse to get an easy payday, although what she stated so far seemed a bit murky. Even so, she did provided testimony in crime lord Whitey Bulger's court case, which was very brave due to the fact that he was a cold-hearted killer. But that was how she learned much about the legal system because of the connections she amassed within that field, and she's using that legal knowledge to aid her in the attempt to reclaim what was stolen from her. However, there's just one thing that still remains. Are her claims 100% valid? That's the million-dollar question to be answered. Also, she needs to consider bringing her original manuscript written way back then. Being robbed of your creative work, especially when it becomes a global phenomenon while you're left on the outside, hits on some of the deepest psychological wounds a person can experience. Here's what the research and clinical literature focused on: real-world cases like Sophia Stewart's, or how writer Gary Goldman, who claimed to be the originator behind the writing of Zootopia, was victimized, or Art Buchwald, and dozens of lesser-known writers who experienced confiscation of their literary work. So what if this were to happen to you? You're already stressed out to the max. The first thing to do would be to take the time to remain calm and later focus on the matter at hand. No, I'm going to also reveal where all of this went for Sophia toward the end, so hang around for that. Okay, so if your literary manuscript was ripped off, the first thing to do will be gathering up your dated manuscripts, registered copyrights, emails, pitch logs, or other hard proof your work was stolen and turned into a blockbuster, unlike the Stewart situation where the evidence never materialized in court. First, immediately preserve everything in its original form and scan all manuscripts with metadata intact, save email chains, and gather any submission receipts, NDAs, or witness statements showing the other side had access. If your work isn't already registered with the U.S. Copyright Office, do it right now. It costs $45 to $65 online and creates an unbeatable timestamp. So go to https://www.copyright.gov/forward-registration. Registration within 3 months of publication, or before infringement occurs. You're owed payment for statutory damages if you win. Second, hire a reputable entertainment IP litigator who takes copyright cases on contingency, or hybrid contingency. Many will see if the documents are strong and if the target has deep pockets. Start with the volunteer lawyers for the arts directory at https://vlaa.org/forward-get-help/forward-referral-service for low-cost initial consults. Or look at firms that have won big idea theft cases. Examples: Kinsella Weitzman in LA, or Donaldson Calif Perez. Demand letter and case evaluation. Strong paper trails often scare studios into early settlement. Third, have your lawyer send a detailed cease and desist demand letter laying out the access plus substantial similarity argument with side-by-side comparisons. Studios hate these going public, so many may settle at this stage for mid-6 to low 8 figures plus credit, confidentially, of course. If they ignore it, file in federal court within 3 years of when you discovered, or reasonably should have discovered, the infringement. See the statute of limitations here at https://www.copyright.gov/title 17/92 chap 5 html #507.4. Consider pre-lawsuit alternatives that sometimes pay faster and cheaper. File a claim with the WGA registration service if your guild. https://www.wgawregistry.org. Or use escrow-style mediation through the Copyright Claims Board. Small claims up to $30,000, fully online. No lawyer required. https://ccb.gov. These won't get you 9 figures, but they can force a quick 5 or 6 figure payout without years of litigation. Finally, protect yourself going forward. Always pitch through agents or lawyers. Use the WGA registry or Copyright Office for every draft. And never send unsolicited material directly to studios, they'll just return it unopened. Resources for that: WGA registration, https://www.wgaw-red.org. Copyright Office, https://www.copyright.gov. And a good primer on idea protection from the Authors Guild. https://go.authorsguild.org/bulletins/idea.theft. If done right, and with real evidence. Creators in this exact position have quietly collected millions, or gotten their names in the credits without ever seeing a headline because the studio pays to make the problem disappear fast. Now getting back to Stewart, well, things didn't go over well with her case due to a lack of evidence. So Stewart never won anything from the Wachowskis, Warner Bros., Fox, or anyone connected to the Matrix or Terminator. She wound up owing $305,000 to the defendants who filed a countersuit, which was the amount that was awarded to both the studios and filmmakers. They were awarded against Sophia Stewart in attorney's fees and costs after a court case. Judge dismissed her case in 2005. Basically, the English court said she, or technically her side, owed them over $300,000 for making them defend a claim the judge found meritless. Those fees were never collected, but they were never paid to her. Sources varied between roughly $35,000 and $150, from a separate malpractice settlement with her former attorney Jonathan Lubel years later. That was for him allegedly botching the original case, not for proving the studios stole her work. So to be clear, from the Matrix and Terminator defendants, Stewart was never awarded her damages from the movie franchises themselves. Your literary work, video content, as well as any other form of media is yours. Period. Make sure to protect it by referring back to the steps provided within this video. Also, make sure to share this video with others who can benefit from it, as well as the information provided about what one can do to protect their public work. So if you liked what you heard today about the stealing of someone's written material, and what to do to protect their manuscript, giving you a peace of mind, then smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe to Mind Blast Mechanics, where we dive deep into the observations that matter. Also throw in a comment out and it will 100% get answered. Don't miss our next video, so make sure to tap that bell. Thanks for watching.